My name is Lee Kolczun. I'm director of the Blackstone Launchpad here at Lorain County Community College. FEBE 3, Fostering Entrepreneurial Business Education, is a project of 3 entities based at the college. Basically, it includes, besides Blackstone Launchpad, SBDC and Glide / Innovation Fund, 3 different entities all located here on campus. We're into our 3rd year, and we've been very happy to be helped by Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts has been our sponsor since we opened back in July of 2013. So it's, for those of you who are new here, FEBE is a weekly coffee networking event that we encourage you to bring as many friends as you would like to do networking, helping us network throughout not only Lorain County, but greater Northeast Ohio. As we've been telling you all along, we're doing a 2-part series today and next Wednesday on elevator pitch. And you may think, well, elevator pitch, why do you need an elevator pitch? You need an elevator pitch not only to introduce yourself, but also to introduce your entrepreneurial venture or any business that you may have. So we have a great expert with us today, Dennis Martin. Dennis has been with the college. I think you came here before Dr. Church.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was here.
Now, Dennis, how long have you been here, Dennis?
4 years.
4 years, okay. And, you know, he preserves well for being here for 30-some years. Anyway, Dennis is really good at this, and I'm just a tag along, so we're going to double team you in going forward with that. And we have one problem, we only have one mic, so we're going to be transferring him back and forth. So Dennis, it's all yours.
Okay. Ready? Okay, that was 60 seconds, believe it or not. Felt like a long time, didn't it? And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today with the elevator speech is they're usually about 60 seconds long. And as you can tell, even sitting there, how'd that feel? Was it pretty uncomfortable, quiet, expecting things? Just to give you an idea how long 60 seconds is, and also what you can do in 60 seconds with giving as far as a really powerful, what they call an elevator speech, that type of thing. And also, one of the things that I wanted to show you was this as far as what can happen in 60 seconds. I hope I can pop this out here. In our world, in 60 seconds, this can happen. A lot of you might be using the social media, things like that. Everything from 600 new videos, 15,000 new blogs, whatever, in 60 seconds. I just wanted to show you, I thought that was pretty interesting too. And also, you're all familiar with the Gettysburg Address President Lincoln gave? That was one of the most powerful speeches ever made, even a real change maker. Do you know how long that speech was?
3 minutes.
Close, it was 2 minutes long. Who spoke after the president? I don't know. Do you know? There you go. But again, I wanted to emphasize our elevator speech, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And also, one of the things you want to talk about, or I'm going to talk about a little bit, is one of the things as far as the speech itself, we wanted to keep it pretty brief, very focused, and I'm going to be talking about more of the personal speech, elevator speech. It's kind of going to be a little towards the employer end of it, but I'm going to mix a little bit here and there. But again, 30 to 60 seconds, we want to stick with 60 seconds, be persuasive, and this is the part that I wanted to point out right here. Point number 3, it's the conversation starter. Because one of the things that you're going to be doing, and also there's no boundaries on, on the speech itself, because it could happen just about anywhere. Oops. And again, this particular pitch that you're going to be using can also happen, where do you think it could happen?
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Grocery stores, staying in line, networking, that type of thing. So one of the things I wanted to talk about again was you can also use it for career, potential customers, and it's a pretty broad audience. It does not necessarily have to be a captive audience like this. Like I said before, it could be friends and relatives. I've had actual story. One of the people I work with was involved in human resources, and she was moving from her home. And the people that were moving into the home, they were there, and she stopped by to clean out some more stuff. And she was talking about that she wanted to look for a position, I think it was human resources. And one of the things that she did, she used her personal pitch while talking to this lady that was moving into her home. Here to find out, this lady's 2 daughters worked with the HR director for one of the major companies in Cleveland. That close. So you never know as far as the pitch itself. But again, potential customers, broad audience, and also investment requests. It could be monetary, it could be expansion, that end of it. And here's the thing that I want to also, the key steps in this pitch itself. Identify the goal, determine the audience, but here's the thing, who are you? Are you Snap, Crackle, Pop? Are you oatmeal? Are you Captain Crunch? You know, you have to almost define your own brand with this. And also, again, what is your product and services? What needs your product and services or you serve? Are you the person that's going to increase their market share? Are you the one that's going to bring in new technology to them? And also, are you the one that's going to solve their problems on the entrepreneurial end of it? That could be several different things. What's going to cause your audience to buy into you? And also, one of the things that you want to also include in this pitch is the successes that you've accomplished. Because what happens is this. When you are telling someone a story, and this is storytelling about yourself, we don't think in words. We think in pictures and that end of it. When you're talking to somebody and you're telling them, hey, right now I'm riding an elephant, what's going through their mind? They're not saying, oh, the words riding an elephant. No, they're seeing you riding an elephant. And one of the things you want to do is really paint this picture of yourself and also your accomplishments. And again, what have you accomplished? Is it monetary? Did you increase something? Please use numbers while you're doing this, particularly if you're pitching for investments, of course. But a really good example as a personal pitch is something like you could use for while I was an intern for such and such company. One of the things I had the opportunity to do was pilot a program myself for a year using career development as an intervention to dropout rate for students. As a matter of fact, I worked with 60 at-risk students, and it was very successful. Let me tell you how and why. One of the things I did, I used personal assessments, that we took it to the next step, and I also created a t-test, statistical results for this program, and it showed, along with qualitative research, that it did work. And these students went on to talk to their counselors, in particular one that was really went to an art community college, who became very successful. Now, within that short time, what have I told you about myself that might be of interest to you that you could cherry pick out of that? What do you think? Do I initiate things? Can I do research? Can I do a program myself? Can I prove the results? Can I show the results? Just in that shorter time. What did that take, a minute, 2 minutes tops? But again, I wanted to really emphasize the success that you're doing. And then the ask. This is probably, at the end, this is probably the part that a lot of people forget, even in interview situations, and also if you're looking for capital, that end of it, ask. Right now, we're looking for $500,000 to initiate this program. What we're going to do with that is we're going to pump that money into this certain area here, and what's going to happen in it will give the results of blank, blank, blank. That end of it. So again, also you can keep something in, well, I always say, in your hip pocket. What if, this program was doing extremely well in the United States? One of the areas that we're looking into is Europe. Because right now they are becoming a United Nations of Europe. There's going to be a market of 450 million people there. It's something that we're looking into now. Okay,
Dennis, let me ask you this question. You say the ask. What if you're doing a personal pitch? What are you going to ask?
Good question. In the personal pitch, it usually boils down to this. At the end of it, it's talking about what you enjoyed and what you learned about yourself. One of the things I enjoyed, going back to the thing that I did with the students, one of the things I did with enjoying with the students was really getting the results oriented that I needed and they needed also to be successful. What I'm looking for is a position where, with an innovative group, where I can actually use my research, my teaching ability, plus my ability to advance students for their own welfare. And what I'm asking is, are you looking for, or where can I fit into your organizations where I can really move this particular division forward for you? Yes, they ask. As a matter of fact, when I interviewed years ago for a very large college, I actually interviewed with 10 people. And I asked for the position at the end of it. They said, you were the only one that asked. I said, I want the position, can I have it type thing. And it was interesting because I was the only one that asked. And again, who is your audience? What's the listener's main focus? It's like this. It's almost like speed dating or courting. Oh, here's some flowers. Oh, they're beautiful. I love them. How did you know I love carnations? Oh, by the way, they're fluorescent carnations. How did you do that? So it's always that back and forth, almost dating, courting type thing. And you want to really emphasize, what is their main focus? Is it technology? Do you need someone to sell something? Do they need someone to sell something? What is their need? Because another way on the personal interview or the employer end of it, doing the research on a particular or maybe a niche that you're going to fill. Is this niche missing something? Are you the person or service that can solve that problem? That end of it. Also with the personal end of it, the personal pitch, one of the things that you want to do as main focus is when you're talking to this particular person, who are they? Are they your human resources director? Are they the CEO? They want to hear two different things. HR director wants to find out if you're going to stay there for a while. CEO is saying, are you going to help us overall? And if someone is in support area, do I have to follow you around with a fly swatter so I can find you? Answer those questions right there. It's a risk reduction end of it. And again, what drives them? Is it monetary? Is it technology? Is it manufacturing? Is it, for some companies, it's actually their reputation management. So it can be, it doesn't necessarily have to be material. It could also be anything that's, you know, their reputation that's involved in that. Okay. And what needs do they have? Like I said before, is it monetary? I'll give you a very good example. I was working with a client, and they were interviewing with a company who was very revenue driven. And we explained this to them. So make sure that you understand who they are, and also what they're after in your interview process, and also in your pitch, what you can do. You know what the very first question was that the interviewer asked? What's our stock price today? They didn't know it. So it's that critical. And also, what will grab their attention? Is it the fact that you actually independently brought in this new division? You started a new division. You increased sales. Did you, for this company over here, particularly in your personal pitch, did you increase or create a system that really moved them forward? So whatever you do, please think about what you have to add to this whole process. And again, it is a risk reduction thing. However, whatever you say, you have to be constantly adding value to the whole situation. True or false? Approximately 50% of your elevator speech should focus on you and your work. And so, what do you think? To me, it's almost like a give and take. So you really have to be careful. You don't want it to be one-sided. You have to be very careful. Okay? Did you want to add anything to that? Okay.
Yeah, the only thing that I would add is on that, you've got to get across in a very subtle way what you are about, or what your product is about, or your service is about. You want to get it so that they feel comfortable and that they feel easy with that. Now, there's some people that generally they're high tension, they're high stress, and they start blurting things out. What you have to do is you have to come up with some kind of way, some kind of tricks that can take you back down. I want everyone to hold up their right hand. Okay, now take your thumb and your middle finger and take the nail of your thumb, drive it into the tip of your index finger as hard as you can. Make it hurt. Make it hurt. Come on, Lisa. Push.
I don't want to hurt.
Okay. Get close to you, Dennis, so that they can hear me. The reason you do that is that you take. What is it? No, that's what I need. What you need to do that for is to take your mind off of nerves, takes your mind off of everything other than that pain, and it's going to relax you. So whenever you're in a stressful situation, dig in. Make it feel. Okay?
And right before I turn the floor over to Lee, I wanted to also indicate something here. I'm going to show you something that kind of emphasizes this. How you really have to know yourself, fit into the situation, and you don't even have to get up. You don't even have to move. I'm just going to ask you to do two things. First of all, I want you to drop your arms down to your sides. Now, when I count to 3, I want you to do something. 1, 2, 3, fold your arms in front of you. Okay, drop your arms down to your side again. 1, 2, 3, reverse it. That is correct. That is correct. The reason we do this is to show you that the physical and mind connection to this fit that you have to have that's going on here. And this has always worked consistently. Real fast, how did you feel the first time around? Anybody? Comfortable?
Confident what I was doing.
Okay. And the second time around? Awkward? Thank you. Change is difficult. I've had everything from stupid, why'd you make us do this, things like that. But I just want to emphasize that before I turn the floor over here.
What was the correct thing? Arms down? Right.
So do you get the idea as to the change? We're not, we don't like a lot of change. We get into our set ways of doing things, and it's hard to believe that every time we cross our arms, we always cross them the same way. But this little thing showed you, a little exercise showed you that there is change. So why do we use that? Why do we suggest that? Is because when you are giving your elevator pitch, there is going to be change because you're not used to talking that way. You're used to talking just one-on-one or maybe to a group of people. But what you have to do is in your elevator pitch, you've got to think differently. You've got to act differently. And what you've got to keep in the back of your mind, okay, got it, is if you are selling yourself or if you're selling a product, who are you? If you're selling yourself, who are you? Tell me, who are you?
Susan Patton.
Susan Patton. Who are you representing, Susan?
I'm a licensed realtor with Keller Williams.
And why are you here?
To learn about my elevator pitch and how to perfect it.
Okay. What is your product? You've got to tell us your product. Why should I know anything about you?
I help families buy and sell real estate.
Okay. What are your key features in helping families?
Well, I have access to the most up-to-date information, and
Russ, before you leave. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I can schedule private showings for any of the homes on the market, and I try to make the process fun and as stress-free as possible.
Good. Russ.
I'm sorry, I have a meeting at 10:30.
Yes. Can you come up for 1 minute? 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Yes. Give us your elevator pitch.
For the last company I started?
Whatever you're trying to sell.
Is it on?
It's on. Yes. They can hear.
Most people don't realize that today when a cancer patient goes for radiation therapy, they're not imaging that patient while the radiation beam is on. So they don't know exactly where the radiation is going in the patient. ViewRay has solved that problem, and we are developing a technology to treat cancer patients. And right now we are in Series A round, and we're raising $1 million.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Now that was off. About 30 seconds, but it was an elevator pitch. It was something that he obviously has been involved in. That you have to constantly be ready for that because you never know when someone may call on you or you may run into someone that you could make a sale. Now, what did he not do? He really didn't identify himself. He didn't say well, he sort of said what his business was, but he did tell us his idea as to the product and service, gave an overview. You have to be ready. You have to be on your toes so that whenever it happens, and don't feel like you're a dingbat or anything. If you say your elevator pitch to yourself in the mirror every morning, it's not going to be the same elevator pitch every morning because you're going to constantly be tweaking it. It's going to be something that you have to exercise. It's something that you get into the habit of. And what you should first do is start out just doing an elevator pitch for yourself, a personal elevator pitch. Because why? You know that best. Or hopefully you know it best. And once you have the elevator pitch for yourself, then you graduate to the elevator pitch for your service or your product. Okay? Sure.
Just real fast, one of the things that I noticed, I'm sorry, what is your name here?
Susan.
I noticed when she gave her pitch that she did not say or anything like that, it was straight through. That's very good.
Shouldn't say to do that.
Right. She did not say. If you did listen very closely, she was very direct. She didn't speed through it. She chose her words, or at least it appeared she chose her words as she was delivering her pitch. And that's what you want to do, because now if she would have just spit it out in a very short time, what happens? I'm going to think, well, she's nervous or whatever. And then if I'm intimidable, maybe I would feel nervous and uptight too. But not too many people intimidate me. So, but what it is that's what you have to do. You have to look at yourself. You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to be comfortable with what you do. So what are you doing? Okay, whatever service that you are providing or product you're providing, is it going to fill a void in your audience's life? Why did Dennis ask earlier in, I think, the second slide, let me just go up here. In here, as to your main focus, as to what drives you, what needs you. Because you need to answer those questions in order to show how you can fill the void. What unique value will it bring? What unique value will your service bring to me who has 5 kids all under the age of 6 and I need a house? What value can you bring to me? What void are you going to fill? Okay. You've got a unique value. And you've got to convince yourself that your value, your product, your service, and yourself personally is unique. All of us are unique. We all have a unique ability. Your unique ability is different from, Tim, your unique ability. And Tim, your unique ability is a lot different than your wife's unique ability. She has superior unique abilities. Yours are, you know. Is this your slide? Okay. Okay. Successes you've accomplished. What have you accomplished? Now, current clients. Let me ask you, Chris, are you going to be comfortable with telling a person that you've just met who your clients are?
No.
And why not?
I don't know who they are. I don't know who that person is.
Okay, you don't know that person, that's why you're not going to share. Number one, and also ethically, you can't really be giving that information out. But generally, if you do, well, Tim, I'll go back to you. What do you do?
Sell sandwiches
Sell sandwiches. Sell sandwiches where?
in Lakewood, in Avon, and in Sheffield.
And what's the name of your sandwich place?
Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's. Okay, Jimmy John's. A franchisee having 3 franchises right now of Jimmy John's. You can tell his 3 stores, current clients, basically. All your clients are all the customers that you have. Revenue, I don't know if you want to tell people about your revenue. That's something that you may not. Accomplishments, good.
Particularly with number 3, as far as with the personal pitch, one of the things that you should not ever forget is experience. And particularly when working with employers, they are also interested in internships, but they're also interested in areas that even you volunteer. People have had marvelous experience just overlooked by themselves because they didn't realize that, positions, part-time positions, things they did as far as volunteering, that end of it. Really good example, I was working with a client who they coordinated 2 special events on 2 separate cruise ships with 500 people each or more on those cruise ships. I said, how did you do that? And I said, is that on your resume? No. I said, you might want to include that in your speech. Again, because we, as someone describes a story like that, we see them, how did you do that? What were the results? How did you strategize that? The whole end of it. So they have to be very organized and down the line. So I just wanted to add that part right there. Please be aware of that.
Also, while I'm thinking about it, one thing that you may want to do is as you develop your elevator pitch, you want to tweak it as to the delivery. Quiet can be very effective. I can go over and say, Susan, explain to me exactly how your service is so unique. Now, if you notice, I paused after I said Susan, because what happened, it drew everyone over here to see what she's going to answer and how she's going to answer that. And so what you want to do, it's a very interesting way of getting people's attention. Okay, you have 60 seconds. Waste 5 or 10 seconds with that pause, that silence, and say, Carrie, do you really think that blah, 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 blah? Okay. It's the way you do. Remember, when you are giving your elevator pitch, what are you doing? You are performing. You are on stage with that person who's across from you. Lisa, it's my understanding that you're going to be in Hudson, Ohio on Friday.
Yes, I am.
And why are you going to be in Hudson, Lisa? Do you want to explain to us why?
Sure.
Okay, again, it's drawing. It's the way you play with the individual as to your pitch. The ask. Dennis?
Either way, with either one, as far as the either entrepreneurial or also personal, one of the things that you want. Oops, I'm just gonna kill myself.
Go ahead.
Again, the ask that I said before. One of the things that a lot of participants or in interview situations or whatever situation that's going on, they forget the ask. And also, request consideration, ask for an opportunity to discuss in more detail. Again, because the person or group that you're talking to, they might be very well in their mind thinking, 6 months down the road, we're going to need an organizational development person. We might have them right in front of us right now. And prior to this, you've already given them enough things where they can cherry pick from certain areas that you gave them some really great flags to take a look at. And also, one of the things that at the end, number 3, the bullet point there, provide a business card and or other marketing material. Along with this, because we're so involved in social media today, and one of the things that you can also do is provide a LinkedIn. Let them get to you, however they can. Let them plow that snow out of the way so they can get to you. Could be LinkedIn. If it is Facebook, just be aware.
How many here have a business card on them? Okay, how many do not? And may I ask why not? Even if you do not have a business, even if you do not have a business, you want to have a business card. Even if it's just with your email address or your LinkedIn account or whatever, so that they can connect you. Because you're going through this entire elevator pitch to what? Sell yourself, to sell your product? And then they walk away, and how many of us forget who we talked to? But if you have a card that you can give it to, they can at least know how to get in touch with you. As opposed to, God, what was that person's name? It's that.
And again, with piggybacking on the business card, don't be afraid to use that business card to describe yourself on the flip side. Because what do they do when they look at it? They flip it over. So use that space, whatever you can, to advance your situation. Oops. Did you want me to finish with that?
Yeah, good. Let me just say one thing on the goal of your pitch. What I'd like for you to do right now is take 10 seconds and think to yourself, the next pitch that you're going to do, what is the goal of that pitch going to be?
And again, kind of wrap things up, please determine the audience, who you are and what is your product and service. Again, if you want it, forget this part, just remember snap, crackle, pop. Are you oatmeal? Are you Captain Crunch? That type of thing. And also, on the other side of the fence, what are their needs and products and services you can meet? How can you meet them? And successes you've accomplished. And then the next step. It is okay to ask, particularly in the personal pitch in an interview situation, if you're using it there, tell me what the next steps are. What is going to happen next? Oh, we're going to be interviewing 3 more people, and then we're going to make the decision in the next 2 weeks. You know. So within the next few weeks, you're doing your duty as far as wrapping things up, follow up that end of it.
Captain Crunch, oatmeal.
I'm Captain Crunch.
Questions?